Hello again, and how are you? I hope you're enjoying this beautiful weather that we're having and not getting too fed up with the lockdown. Faith is often referred to as a journey. It starts when we first hear about God and continues from that moment and hopefully all through our life. When you go on a journey of any kind, there is a path that we follow. And whilst we try and keep to it, sometimes we get diverted and veer off. And our Christian journey is no different. At times we are close to God and on the right track, whilst at other times we wander off on our own, maybe not thinking much about God or even forgetting about Him totally. This Sunday's reading is from Luke's Gospel. It's chapter 24 and verses 13 to 35. It's an account of a journey. Two men are walking to Emmaus, a small village about 7 miles from Jerusalem, when Jesus joins them. They don't recognise him, and they carry on walking and talking with him. When they reach the village, they invite Jesus to join them, and it's only when he breaks the bread that they recognise who he is and their eyes are opened. Then it all becomes clear to them, because when they were on the road with Jesus, he spoke to them, and when this happened, their hearts were on fire. I have heard people refer to having an Emmaus Road experience. By that, they mean that whilst they've probably been a Christian for many years, suddenly their eyes are opened and their faith becomes clear and alive. Now we all worship the same God, but experience him in different ways. Our journey of faith is towards the same place, our relationship with God, but we all take different routes. Now I look back on my own journey of faith, it's been an interesting one. I was brought up in a family who attended church every Sunday, and I joined all the usual junior groups, and I liked going to church. At the age of about 14, I had my first Emmaus Road experience. It wasn't anywhere near as dramatic as the two walking with Jesus, but it was a turning point in my life. It was an indescribable feeling inside which changed me. Church became not just something to do on Sunday, it was an opportunity to learn more about God whilst joining others for worship. I also had the feeling that I wanted to do something for God, but of course didn't know what. For the next 15 years or so, I journeyed along, sometimes on the path to God, whilst a lot of the time veering off onto my own path. I attended an Alpha conference at Cubbington Cathedral, where I had my next Emmaus Road experience, and this was while someone was praying over me. Again I felt that I wanted to get to know God better and to do something for him. A few years later, I had the most powerful Emmaus Road experience, and that was in St Gregory's Church in Offchurch, whilst taking part in a Christian course. This time I made a promise to myself and to God that I would search to see what he wanted me to do. A couple of years later, after a lot of prayer and soul searching, I told my vicar that I felt that God was calling me to ordain ministry. And as they say, the rest of this is history. Hopefully I haven't bored you too much by telling you about my Christian journey, but I've done this to encourage you to think about your own journey with Christ. I have included a few questions for you to consider and maybe even help you. And also, there's a prayer that you might like to pray, which I often use.